What is up, guys? I'm Ettore, and today I'm going to teach you how to make these plant pots out of normal coffee mugs. So let's just get started. So around my condo I have a bunch of pothos that I'm always taking little cuttings from and growing, and I'm running out of places to put these cuttings, so I started to put them into cute little coffee mugs. And I think these look great on a desk, and they also make for a great present if you want to give someone cuttings from your own plant. So today I'm going to teach you how to make your very own. As always, let's get started with the materials. So today we will be using a Dremel, as well as our coffee mug, also some dirt, some cuttings or seeds, and some gravel. That's really all we need to get started. So now let's actually get into drilling holes into the coffee mug. So this does get quite messy, so I used an oil pan to catch some of the debris, and I'm also wearing safety glasses because I don't want to get anything in my eyes. In this video I'm showing you how to do it with a Dremel. I use this little steel bit at the top that cuts into ceramic pretty well. I have seen other people do this with drills, and they have a special bit, and I've also seen other people do this with just nails and a hammer. I thought my mugs were too thick for the nail and hammer technique, but if you have thinner mugs then that might work. And I didn't have the drill bit necessary to make the holes, so I just used my Dremel. I know not everyone has a Dremel at home, but if you have the drill bit that you actually need, then for sure you can use that instead. But if you do have a Dremel, you can follow my tutorial here. So I'm making 3 holes at the base of this to provide for proper filtration. The whole purpose of these holes is so that water can escape downwards, and then this allows you to prevent further complications like molding or anything else. It really helps your plant breathe a lot better, and really helps your irrigation overall. So for my size mug, I thought 3 holes was sufficient, especially holes of this size. They're not big enough where things are leaking out of, and there's enough of them where it provides enough filtration. So between drilling, I squirt a little bit of water. In my opinion, that really helps because this gets quite hot, and I also dump out a lot of the excess debris from the ceramic of the mug. And here, as I'm wiping it off, I see that I cut through the holes, and as you can see, we have made it all the way through. You can see on the inside and the outside that these holes are ready, and we can go on to the next steps. Now that we have prepped our mug, we can start filling it with contents. We will get started with the gravel. The gravel at the bottom helps for easier flow of water. So we just add some gravel. Some people also like to add a little wire mesh here to prevent the soil from getting all the way to the bottom, but I didn't have any around and I didn't want to do that, but if you like doing that, go for it. Next up is dirt. We can add our dirt in there. I don't like to add it all the way to the top quite yet, because later as I'm inserting the cuttings, I need some space to add the cutting, dig little holes, and then add more soil after. So this amount of soil is good for now. Now that we have our gravel and our soil in our mug, we can start adding the cuttings. At this step, you can use seeds as well if you prefer, but I have these pothos cuttings that I've been propagating for a couple of weeks already that I'll just go ahead and add. As you can see, I have my pothos cuttings here that have started a little bit of root already, and I will just dig little holes with my fingers and add the cuttings inside the soil. The important part here is to make sure that the root is under the soil, but everything else can be on top. At this point too, as I mentioned earlier, you can just plant seeds. That's totally fine. I just don't have any seeds around, and I have had these pothos growing in a jar for a couple of weeks now, so they're ready to be planted in my opinion. So I just go ahead, make little holes, and add the cuttings, and make sure to cover them up. Later, I grab a little bit extra soil and add it to the top just to make sure they're all covered. Then I do a little bit of grooming, make sure they're all where I want them to be, and I spray a little water to kind of bring down the top a bit, and so I can add a little bit more soil. A little bit more water, a little bit more soil. I'm doing this all over the oil pan because dirt can get a little messy. You can just choose to vacuum later if you want. And it works. As you can see, our water is dripping from the bottom just as it should. And this tells us that the holes we created work the way they're supposed to, and that we're essentially done at this point. We can go ahead and move the cuttings a little bit if we want to our desired positions, but the pot itself is absolutely done. So good job. And here's the final result. As you can see, we have all of our cuttings inside the soil in the mug, and it looks super cute. And that's really just about it. So now that it's done, let's see a little montage of the mugs. We can see here we have some nice soil. I set them just on my desk. I think they look great on the desk because that's where your coffee mug typically is when you're doing work anyways. And if you have a bunch of them, that's no big deal because they are quite small and they don't take up much space at all. You can see this one that I've had for a couple months now has grown quite substantially, even though there's not much soil. And it is really healthy. So despite it being a small pot, it actually does work, and it works great. And that's it. It is really simple to create these mug plant pots. The hardest part is really getting the holes at the bottom, but once you get past that, you can really get creative with it. I think it makes for great gifts if you want to give anyone any cuttings from your plants. I think this is a great way to do so. This is super cute, looks great on the desk if you want to have it in your office or anywhere else. I like to use pothos because it is a small pot, and these plants live through a lot. They don't require much water or sunlight. So I think it is great for a small pot like this. Obviously you can't have a plant that requires a lot of water or a lot of soil in here because you just won't get that out of this. But anything small, any small seeds you want to plant in here or any cuttings you want to add, it is a great way to do so, especially pothos, because if you want to gift this to someone, you don't want to give someone a responsibility. You don't want to give someone a chore that they have to go and water every day. But this is something very low maintenance that they can have on their desk, and they can just water it whenever they remember, and it'll grow. It won't die on you. It is super cute, and it really comes from the plant that you already have, so that's why I like to use pothos in these. And they grow pretty quickly. This one I've had for a couple months now, and it has the thickest stem out of any plant I have, or any pothos I have. And it is growing very strong despite having very little soil. So I have no worries about their ability to grow here. And that's about it. Really, I love this project. I think it's a great way to save money if you don't want to be purchasing new pots every day or every week as you have more cuttings and seeds and stuff. And I think they look great on the desk. So the reason I like to use coffee mugs is because they come in very cool shapes and colors, and they're always really easy to come by and really inexpensive. You can always find coffee mugs for like 25 cents at garage sales or for 50 cents at Goodwill. Old coffee mugs are sweet, and you can always find them easily. Even at your local dollar store, they definitely have some coffee mugs there. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like if you liked it, and please leave a comment if you have any questions, or if there's anything I didn't highlight in this video. I'll make sure to answer. I like to answer almost all my comments, so just please go ahead. Don't hesitate to ask. Also, if you want to see more stuff like this, please subscribe. I am intending on making a lot more videos, and I would love it if you would join the journey. So please subscribe, and if you have any video ideas, please let me know too, because I always enjoy getting video ideas from followers and fans. Because it lets me know what type of stuff you want to see. Let me know if you make them. If you do make them, you can send me a picture on Instagram at OFY, ETTOFY, and I'll see you next time. See you guys.